there's more than 10,000 nonprofits in the United States alone that are only dedicated to supporting military families. There's 10,000. So across every state, there's people doing something somewhere. And the majority of them we don't even know about.
Mm-hmm.
Like that right there is a community that needs to have communication. That right there is a community we need to tap into. And having, if I'm severely looking forward to being able to raise funds and get mixed use commercial property so that we can have a campus, have the transitory housing, have, medical building, dental building, people can volunteer at, whatever, and then have an event center and be able to partner with all these other nonprofits and have an event center that's paid for, that you don't have to pay upfront costs for, that you can host events at, where we can all come together and support each other's causes in helping the military members and all these people affected by all these different things, and work cohesively in all of these different, there's so many different missions out there.
Yeah.
There's people that put together fishing trips for veterans and stuff, and people with PTSD. There's people that do retreats and things for all kinds. Like there's so many things out there that veterans don't even know exist. And we need to start making that community. We need to start bringing those people together, and we need to start working together with anybody and everybody that we possibly can to build it. Because if not, we're just going to keep seeing this snowball get bigger.
Yeah.
Like,
the thing that I like a lot about what you're doing, like you're saying, it's earlier, you're not trying to make money or anything off of it. And there's an individual I had on that does the same thing. I'm wearing one of his shirts. Mark Stepanchin, I think is how you say his last name. He was Army. Yep. He don't all his proceeds, I think every shirt's $30. I just bought another one, but he donates 100%. And I remember when I was talking to him, he said, I'm at a point in life where I can actually do this,
Right.
And how, because you always see like the companies are like, oh, we donate 5%. So, 5%. It's something. I'm not going to roll my eyes at it, but it's something.
Right.
But to have individuals like yourself and like him, he's the first one I heard that's really gone like all in until talking to you. It's I don't know. It's kind of, it makes me happy, obviously, as a veteran, and like proud. Like, man, because we talk about community, like you're saying, and stuff like that. But it's nice to know that there's veterans out there that are really, really invested.
Yeah.
And I think as veterans, we need to start supporting other veterans. That's one of those huge things. Like, we all know veterans, we all know companies, we all know individuals that are doing things, and we're just like, yeah, that's cool that you're doing it.
Yeah.
And there's issues because we've been through it. Whether you came out out of it scot-free or went through some shit. It's like, man, just small things help. I think our community is starting to get to that point where it seems like we're starting to reach out and help each other more often, but I think it could definitely be improved upon.
For sure. We starting this out, everyone's like, oh, well, the best fundraiser you can have, just sell t-shirts and merch and sell whatever. And it's like, yeah, like that's a business. Like there's a lot that goes in. There's inventory, there's all these things, whatever. And so like we were kind of at where we were starting out. We're like, all right, well, we would love to get our message out there and we want people to be able to wear our merch and help, but like, we don't have the capacity to do that. We teamed up with a veteran owned and operated apparel company, and they said that they're going to split all the profits with everything they sell of ours right down the middle.
Boom.
So they take care of the inventory, they take care of all the stuff, and they mail and take care of, they send the stuff out to all the customers and everything. We get a percentage, they get a percentage, but we're supporting a veteran owned and operated business. I can hang my hat on that. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's helping the cause somehow, you know what I mean? Like, and it's, again, it's not ideal, right? Everyone's like, oh, the ideal thing is to have your own shop. And you know what? Eventually we may get there. We may be able to be like, hey, thank you guys so much for everything you did with us and partnering with us. We're going to handle it from here, but we're not there yet. So in the meantime, let's work together and help each other, help everybody else, and let's move forward. And that's been our whole mentality throughout all of this. I am no expert on anything that I've discussed this evening. I am the furthest fucking thing from an expert, right? But I'm somebody that asks questions, and I try to look at things in a new way, and I try to approach things in a different direction. And I just I think that I owe it to my friends and to my soldiers to approach this differently. And all that I want to do in this is help the people that are affected and tell the stories of the people that we lost so that we don't have to lose anymore, you know. And we're so grateful for the people that have reached out to us and been willing to sit down with us and talk about their stories, about their individual experiences, you know, because that like I said earlier, that is such a vulnerable thing for people to even be able to do. But the fact that so many people now have reached out and have come forward, it just shows us that people are literally itching to work together on this. We just need a way. We just need to find a way. And that's all we're trying to do. We're just trying to find a way. We're trying to bridge gaps. Every gap we come across, like, you know, I thought Minus 22 was just going to be a film. I never thought it was going to be a nonprofit. And now learning everything like it's a nonprofit. 10 years from now, it's likely going to be a very different nonprofit than what I've been foreseeing just now. I think we have a lot of really good ideas. I think we've done a lot of really a lot of things really well so far. I think that we have a lot of areas we can definitely improve upon, and we'll get there. You know, it comes with the growing stages of things, but I'm excited to see what new things that we can, what we get approached with, you know, with these issues, and how we can try to work together with people to move forward. Because so far on the small scale, people have come around this like out of nowhere, you know, and supported this. And I've been blown away by that. And the fact that people believe in us to be able to do this and see that, like, hey, everything you're saying actually does make sense. You don't sound like a masshole, you know, like that's how I feel. But it's like, great. Like, I'm so glad that people are legitimately checking us, you know, like, hey, check to see our motives, check to see our heart in this. I'm not looking to get rich. You know, I have a pretty comfortable life right now with my family. You know, my bills are taken care of. That's all I could ask for. That's all I care about. You know, I want my family to be happy and healthy, you know, not in that order. And I just want to be able to take care of me and mine. And because I'm able to do that, that's all I care about. I do all the other stuff that I love to do. Like, I'm always gaming, and I write music, and I do all kinds of stuff, like, for me, that I love to do. And I'm going to continue to do those things that I love to do. But I feel like this is where I'm in a position where I need to do this because it needs to be done. You know, we got back from filming. We're flying back, and I was stressed when I got into this, man. It was, I've never filmed a documentary before. I've never, dude, like, and it's insane how much work goes into these films. And then you see the difference. Like, and dude, good film work is expensive. Okay. Like the film industry they are very good at what they do, but it is expensive. And so I remember being on the flight coming back and from filming, and, you know, we'd already gone over budget from my proposed budget, but like ball was already rolling. So we just kind of needed to, you know, I'm using my credit card, whatever, doing whatever I got to do to pay whatever. But then now it's like, well, now the pressure's on me, you know, like, this is not a comfortable feeling. This does not feel good. I was so pissed. I was angry. And it felt like, you know, I'm doing these things and nothing's going right. At that time, that's how it felt. Now looking back, I can say, like, clearly we were doing something right because we are where we are now. But at the time, in the heat of the battle, you know, you're never seeing all the small victories in the trenches to your left and right, you know? And so coming back on this flight, we had hit turbulence, and I hate flying anyway. It makes me crazy. Like, I don't like it, whatever, but I'll do it because I'm not going to drive 36 hours. It's just not realistic. And so we hit turbulence. And so for me, it was like, I'm like the most uncomfortable I could possibly be, the most stressed I could possibly be, coming from a trip that's not going well, where I'm now feeling like I'm swimming in everything that I've jumped into with 2 feet into this project, plus all my family stuff and my health stuff and everything else going on. Like, it was the worst it could possibly be for me. And I'm not preachy by any means, and I don't like putting beliefs on anybody, you know. I had a conversation, and I said, why me? Like, I hate this. I hate where I'm at. Why me? And my answer was, if not you, then who? And if not now, then when?
Damn.
And that's been my whole mentality pushing me through this now. I don't want money. You know, I don't want to be rich. I don't want to have 9 houses. I have no interest. Like, you know, we talked about living small in the military. Like I think the biggest thing that I have is like my collection of guitars, and I have 3. And like, that's like, that's more than enough for me, you know? And I get to meet people in this, and I get to talk to people. I say a lot of the same things with a lot of people, but I'm always so grateful to talk to people about this stuff. And like, I seriously can't thank you enough for having these conversations with me and being able to have, and being able to check me and ask me questions and challenge me or whatever. I seriously love that, because I want to do the best that I can do. And I don't know what that is. I don't know what this looks like. I don't know what this will look like in a couple years. And honestly, I really don't care. You know, I want to make progress, and I want to start taking ground. I don't care where it is, you know. I kind of want to drop into the war zone and figure out, you know, where the best places to start are, and go from there, you know, and take everything as it comes. And when I started this, when I reached out to the filmmaker that I'd met, asking him questions about this, he said, you know, why did you name it -22? If you want to end suicide, why wouldn't you just call it Project Zero? And I took a minute to really digest what he was saying. And I looked him in the eye, and I said, because I'm not going to stop on this mission until I can get my friends back. And when you start your mission with an impossible task, it makes every other task seem pretty fucking manageable.
Damn.
And so I'm trying to find my next manageable task. I have found my limit mentally and emotionally with a lot of this stuff. I really have. And I've grown from that. There's a lot of growing I have yet to do. But this is a hill that I'm going to die on. I can tell you that.
Oh, shoot. Well, you know what, Dave? I want to say thank you, you know, for coming on and everything. And I mean, sharing a lot. I know it's not easy to discuss a lot of what you've discussed and go into the details of those scenarios and all that. And luckily, like I said, or I hate to use the word luck or luckily or anything like that, but
No,
fortunately, I've never had to go through that. You know, I've never had to experience anything like that yet. Thank God. Hopefully I don't have to, because I've heard it from a few folks I've talked to, and it does give me chills, because I can sympathize, because I've been down that road myself personally, and it's scary and it's hard. So, yeah, I want to say thank you. I can't thank you enough for what you're doing. I mean, I'll be rooting for you, definitely. You know, so
thank you. Seriously, thank you. I like any and all support. Like, it sounds so cliche. I am just so appreciative of even just being able to have conversations. You know, I feel like that's what we need to start doing as service members, is have these conversations. And we can't have these conversations if I'm being reserved and not saying things, you know, not opening up, not being real. I feel like that's all I want. I'm just trying to be a dude. That's it. You know, I just want to be a real dude, and I want to be real with people. You know, I want people to be able to approach me as a real dude. Like, I don't think very highly of myself. I can tell you that much. And like this past week, like the fundraiser and everything, people are like congratulating me on such a successful fundraiser. Like, oh, you did such a good job. And it's like, I don't feel like I did anything. I feel like I reached out and asked people for help that knew what they were doing. And that's why this all came together, because I had the courage to ask for help. And that's all I can ask for every single service member, is that whatever you're going through, whatever you're doing, whatever is happening in your life, you need to have the courage to ask for help, because that's the only way I've gotten here, is by trusting the people that know and asking the questions and being willing to speak up. And who would I be, if I were to, I feel like if I were to take credit for all of this stuff, it would be asinine, because this has taken so many people getting on board. Like there have just been so many people coming together on this, and I'm so blessed and honored to be surrounded by people that take this as seriously as I do and that want to get on board. And I don't want I don't want anything from this. I want this to be done. People ask me what the end game is for this. Like I want to have at least one campus in every single state across the US, and then go even further than that. Let's start partnering. Let's start working with people and making it make sense. You know what I mean? Let's do it differently. Let's be bold enough to do this differently. Let's do it together where everybody wins, because that's the position that we're in right now. There's nothing to be lost from jumping into this. Every single person who helps out in this, they feel like, everybody I've talked to says they feel like they're getting something out of it, and we're putting it towards something that matters. That's all I could ever ask for. That's the only thing that I care about. And I seriously cannot thank you enough for taking the time, taking 3 hours out of your evening to to talk with some masshole that just started a nonprofit that has no idea what he's doing.
No, I appreciate it. I mean, I definitely appreciate it. I mean, my podcast is fairly new. This is my first year. I think I started in like April.
Yep.
I think this is my 22nd. This is going to be my 22nd episode. And they've not all been veteran based. That's what like I said earlier, kind of transformed itself into, I think I found like the purpose of what I was, because at first, like I said, I was just trying to shoot the shit with my my friends and my brother and stuff, which is fun. And then I had a veteran on it, and kind of like, wow, I was like, maybe this is what I've really been wanting to do for a long time. Like, because that's one of those things I've tell people all the time, like finding purpose is really hard. And if it's, I think this is it for me. I love talking to veterans.
For sure.
I like gravitate towards this type of stuff. So it's awesome that you're taking the time on 3 hours as well on a very brand new podcast. Where that's what I love about this. So I like that we can have these types of discussions and folks can be vulnerable, because I think that's a word veterans don't like to hear, or military folks don't like to hear, but you have to be in order to resolve things. And
you got to be human. You can't be a robot. You got to unpack that luggage, man. Everybody's got baggage. You got to be able to unpack it. You can't carry that stuff forever. And I can't stress that enough to anybody. And I think it's funny too, as humans, we usually scoff at the battles that we know nothing about, right? And there's people that say like, oh, that'd never be me. Like, I'd never be that number. I'd never, whatever. And I always warn people to be careful of calling out your nevers out loud. You're just asking for a challenge there. Yeah. And so when those instances happen and when those tough times happen, I encourage people to ask for help and to reach out to help and to talk to somebody, because if nothing else, I hope that this organization can stand for that 2 years ago, this organization was this right here, was a conversation with somebody in a totally different state. And it only came together because we were continually able to ask for help of other people to make it what it is now. That's all we can do. We got to be human.